you most likely don't want to be rich, even if you think you do. Because I've been there myself, and I am still going through this, and it's half the reason for making this video in the first place, as well as talking about similar subjects on this channel before. But the reason I wanted to start with that is because I wanted to break down some thought processes and some realizations I've been going through, especially in the past few months, up to the past couple of years, even. And some things that I think echo through day to day life and things that we don't even really take note of consciously, only like subconsciously deep down do we actually pay attention to. And it's for that very reason that we actually have kind of ironic moments and realizations about the truth to this. So, without sounding any more vague, I want to particularly talk about the fact that most people, myself included at times, have wanted to or want to be financially successful, rich, create wealth for ourselves, for our families, whatever it might be. Either way, some level of financial success. And yet, deep down, we have beliefs, whether adopted or not, whether from school, the education system, the media, entertainment, whatever it might be, whatever sources we get these beliefs from, we deep down believe that becoming financially successful, getting rich, making lots of money is in some way inherently evil, bad, unethical, immoral, or whatever it might be. And that's why we typically, or most people typically, tend to never strive to try and make more money in life, because you're actually fighting an uphill battle against your own kind of belief systems, basically. Because naturally, if on a thought level, consciously, right, you really want to make lots of money in life, but subconsciously, you believe that being rich is bad. You believe that having lots of money is bad. You think that you can only make money, doing bad things. You can't make lots of money in good ways. And so when you have these two like positives and negatives trying to fight each other, you end up just in like an implosion of your own belief system and are never actually getting anywhere. And that's the trap that most people find themselves in. Because, again, one, the education system, the media, films, TV, the news, whatever it might be, family, friends, whatever your situation is, own personal experiences. And all of these things lead us down this rabbit hole in our lives of most people never realizing that they will never be rich because they hate the idea of rich. And it's for that very reason you'll never ever want to make more money, at least deep down. You'll wish you could make more money, you'll wish for more money, but you never will actually get there because deep down you think it's bad. Deep down you think it's immoral, it's unethical. And there's another kind of split part of the irony here, because also you have these two beliefs fighting each other. Well, you have a belief fighting your thought process, your wish, which is you believe that making money is bad. You believe that being rich is bad because you've not got any positive examples or positive examples in your life of that, whether personally, whether in the news, whatever it might be. But you also don't actually have the ability to even know what you would do in the first place to make money in any ethical way, because our egos naturally get in the way. Because naturally, most people, again, will try to fight that subconscious belief because we'll think, okay, there's always a good way to make money. Every person that makes money might be bad, but I'll be the good one. And it also works the other way as well. That's why ego can be a very interesting subject to talk about, an interesting part of life. But either way, coming back to the main subject matter of this, and the reason this is probably going to be quite a quick video, actually, probably at least like less than 10 minutes, is because I wanted to highlight something I've been thinking about a lot in the past year or so, especially in the past few years, actually, and uncovering more and more like limiting beliefs about looking at, the way certain people, certain lifestyles are represented in film and TV, in the news, in the education system. And again, not going too deep or philosophical or spiritual or even conspiratorial sounding with it, just naturally based on like the evidence in society. There aren't many positive or even just neutral in general examples of financially successful lives and people, lives, basically, because even some neutral examples of like, the way this family spend £100,000 on Christmas or something, or, live in the most fancy place in London or wherever it might be. It's always then, even if it's slightly neutral and not even bad or negative in any way, they will at least paint the characters and the people within those stories as they have a big ego, they're bossy, they're mean to others, right? So even if they're not inherently bad people because they've made a lot of money, I don't know, just in it, they made a shop, they made a store, right? And then now they own one of the biggest chains of something in the world. But what they did isn't bad, but they'll spin it as those people are bad. And again, the interesting thing about this is not to go down too like rabbit hole about this to talk for another 10 minutes, but simply in these last few minutes, hopefully, this video, it's very interesting how there aren't really many other examples or kind of comparisons you can make as like an analogy for, well, you can make many analogies actually, but there aren't many presented to the world in the sense of, okay, well, if rich people are bad, but I want to be rich, why don't we, imagine if it was like, imagine if the way value was created and the way money worked wasn't by having money, but by having, I don't know, like hammers or something, or like, I don't know, like chocolate or whatever it might be in life. The person with the most chocolate was the most, financially successful person. Like that way, then is that they're bad because they like this or they like that, because you suddenly change the measure for financial success or wealth or whatever it might be. So it's very interesting. And I wanted to make this quick video to kind of reflect on that, things I've been thinking about recently anyway. And I ended up waking up to it the other day thinking I want to make a video about this because my videos have kind of been going from like general marketing tips and tricks, which I still want to be talking about, to then analyzing my own beliefs and thought processes I've been thinking about and all these different things. So yeah, this is an interesting one. It's a very, very deep topic. I'm barely covering the surface of this in this video, just kind of sharing my own thoughts. And I kind of want to leave off with a challenge to end this video. And I want you to look for, a bit like the red car theory here, look for positive examples of financial success in the media, entertainment, or in education. And there are still some examples, but obviously there's many examples, but typically the examples have a wrapper of either what they did was bad, but they're good, or what they did was good, but they're bad type of thing. What they did was good, but they're bad, or what they did was bad, but they're good type of thing. Normally there's always, normally, in most cases, again, depending on what you look for, you might find it. So I would really challenge you to try and find the things. And obviously, confirmation bias and, our own cognitive dissonance of wanting to be right might get in the way of this. We'll always look for the bad because we want to deep down find it. But naturally, I think you can definitely find many positive examples, even if it's not the media, because naturally, as soon as you start looking for it, you'll realize that there actually are, an abundance of very financially successful people that have provided lots and lots of value to the world. And that's the reason for why they are financially successful, because they provided value and they're great people. And again, who are we to talk anyway? Because even if we're not financially successful, we're hardly these we aren't the shiny people anyway. We aren't the most amazing of, blissful people. I don't know where I'm ending this with, but either way, I'm ending it with the fact that, we might not, society and the media might not represent wealthy people in a positive light, but are we suddenly going to go up on our high horses and say that we aren't the most moral and ethical people in our lives? We try to be, and ultimately, I think if we can aim for that by trying to be creating wealth, and that's the best thing we could possibly do. But anyway, I urge you to try that challenge. Look for positive examples, because there are more positive examples than you think, because there are there's unlimited supply of wealthy people that are very good, and hopefully you'll become one of them. So yes, there we go. Nonetheless, 10 minutes in. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. See you later.